Well, good morning, folks. Let's talk about ripraps a little bit. The reason why I fish riprap banks or areas a whole lot, especially this time of the year, um, or causeways. Generally speaking, I get a lot of questions about where is the best place to target ripraps along these causeways. Well, usually it's going to be on the lower ends, because the water is generally shallower on the lower ends. And it really depends on how clear the water is for how deep the fish will actually make their beds. Fish meaning crappie. Now what they do is in between rocks, where the riprap actually slides off into the water, that's where they bed. 9 times out of 10, when I find them, there'll be a rock on this side, a rock on this side, and right there in the middle is where they dish their beds out. Now, and it depends on how clear the water is to how deep these fish will be. Sometimes if the visibility is 6 feet, these fish will be 8 feet deep. They'll be at 8 feet deep if the water is real clear. But as a general rule of thumb, it depends on what lake I'm fishing or what type of lake. If the water, for the most part, is a dingy type situation in a lake or a river, the fish will definitely spawn shallower. I've seen them spawn that deep, folks, 14 inches of water, where you wouldn't even think they would be. And the reason why they do that is because they have to have the right amount of sunlight to penetrate down in the water to incubate those eggs. So they're at different depths, different lakes, different water clarities. But once you find the depth, ripraps can be an excellent choice from the bank. And the reason why is those rocks actually warm the water quicker, and the first crappie that comes in will generally target areas like that because the rocks hold the heat, and water temperatures, like I said, generally a little bit warmer than anywhere else in the lake. So that's the reason why they do that. Great place to fish, folks. Oh my goodness. I knew it, folks. Oh, that's a good fish right here. This water is so clear. I thought I seen another one with him right there. No, that's gizzard shad. That's a big crappie right here. I tell you, this is a lucky fish. Lucky crappie. The reason is because we already have some in the freezer that I caught the other day. Beautiful fish. Ain't that a beautiful fish right there, folks? That is beautiful. Alright. There he goes. That water is so clear. We caught that fish on a 1 3/4 slab-tail jig. Hot Mess is the name of it. And in clear water, sometimes I'll use gaudy colors like that so I can visually see the jig better. I can keep up with the jig and see the fish actually strike the bait like I did that one. I seen that one come up and actually inhale the bait. That is very special when you talk about crappie fishing, when you can visually see that strike. Right now the surface temperature is probably about 60 degrees, and the fish are starting to come in, a few, and bed. They're trying to come on in and do their deal. So what I'm doing right here is using a little bitty jig, inch .75. Hot Mess is the name of it, slab-tail jig. Now it's tied, that little jig head has got a size number 8 hook in it, and how heavy this jig head is, I have no idea. It's light. I mean, it's probably half of a 1/32 or even less. But it's perfect wait for this jig, for this type of presentation. This is a very finesseful presentation that I use for crappie if they're in a funk. And this is 2-pound test line, high vis vicious, and I order it from Amazon. The 1/4 pound spose. This is a sow belly rod, 6.5 foot, limber as a dish rag. I've been using it a lot here on these bank fishing videos. Having a lot of fun. 1,000 size Daiwa, Fago Daiwa, smooth drag. And that's really important fishing light line. Let's look at this gaudy looking color in the water. Look at that. But see the action that little jig possesses. It is a very enticing action. And that's why I love to use these jigs. Let's go ahead and pitch back out here again, see if there's another crappie. What I'm going to do now that I caught a crappie, I'm going to fish real hard right here in this area. But I'm just going to pitch out there, a whole 14, 15 foot. Let the jig go out of sight. Pick it. Look here. Talking about a bluegill. Here's one of them. He messed up. Now this is about the size I was talking about. Well, that one's probably a little bit more than half the size of my hand, and those are pesky. I love to eat them, love to catch them. But when I'm fishing for crappie, when I got a target on crappie, those are a little bit aggravating. But that just goes with it. I will say this. When you're in an area where you're getting aggravated by those little bluegill like that, there's a good chance that was another bluegill. That's what you're looking for, activity. Because usually when you get into that, well, you're going to there's some crappie around. Let's pitch it right here. Now I'm just letting it go out of sight. And as clear as this water, out of sight, it's probably about 7 feet. It's about a 6 or a 7 foot visibility. That's pretty clear for this lake. There he is. Oh, that excited me. I set the hook too hard with that 2-pound line. Golly, that fish comes straight up out of nowhere, folks. Good crappie too. Woo, that fish is fighting. I can't tell y'all how that fish right there is fighting. But he come up out of nowhere. Nowhere, I'm talking about. Would you quit? Doggone you. I mean, he come up so quick and fast that it scared me. Come here. I'm used to fishing on these fronts. Here in North Alabama, we have one after the next. I guarantee you. Ain't that a beautiful fish? Golly. That's a mean joker right there, folks. We'll see if we can't do that again. He may have had, where's my pliers at? He may have had some competition. Is the reason why he come up so hard and quick. I don't know. But I know one thing, he ate that jig, he tore it up. He attacked it. He attacked it. Now, okay, let's go ahead and put him back right here. These little jigs like this is killers for not just crappie, bluegill, shell cracker, anything like that, any type of panfish. But the key, I think, is the lightest jig head you can get by with. When you're talking about fishing from the bank like this, you can really fish this jig slow. You can keep it in place. A lot of times it's the difference between catching fish and not catching any. What I'm doing right here is just trying to tease one, folks. I'm holding that jig in one place, making that tail just go back and forth. That's why a slab tail jig is so effective. That seesaw motion, just, they can't stand it in front of their face for long. Oh my goodness, what a crappie. That's a big one right there. Oh my. My. I'm gonna try to catch him. That was a big crappie. We're on another one right here, folks. If that wind would settle down just a little, probably half of what it is right now, would catch this old big crappie. I won't well, I got him anyway. Oh, me complaining about the wind. It's March. In March, you're going to have wind. But I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that was the crappie. The one I seen was a lot bigger than this one, folks. So there's another one there. This is a small one compared to what I seen. Let's let this one go. I guarantee you that's not the crappie I seen. Go on back, boy. See, I know right exactly where that bed's at. Let me show y'all. So I'm just making a short cast, holding my rod tip down because it's so windy. I'm letting it fall all the way to the bottom. It's about 7 or 8 feet right there. Picking it up off the bottom just a little bit and just holding it there. Vertical jigging it real slow and just holding the bait there. Picking it up, letting it fall. I'm watching for that high-vis line. Again, that high-vis line pays off when it's windy. You can see it flinch. I'm not feeling no bites. I'm just seeing that little thump. And that's it. So simple. Everything works real good like that, folks. It'll work together if you got everything coordinated just right. Everything will work for you. There he is. There's another one. Let's see if this is the fish I seen. That's the fish I seen. That's a big fish. That's a big crappie right there. Big difference. I just kept on with him. I don't give up, folks. The worst thing you can do is give up. Don't do it. He's hooked funny. Yeah, he's hooked in the bottom. That's unusual. See how that fish is hooked? Oh, barely hooked too. I was lucky. That's a female fish. Big female fish. She's about to pop. Let's let her go. There she goes. Yep, that was the one. Could they be another crappie right here? I mean, another crappie. Whoa! Okay, I'm talking about, whoa! This riprap right here is shallow. If you can see, I'm right here at the lower end of it. And the lower end is the high percentage. Is a very high percentage place for crappie to spawn on these ripraps. That water right there at the end of those rocks right there is about 4 feet deep right here. There he is. That's crappie. Right here at the boat ramp, a giant crappie too. Giant crappie. My. There's another place right on the other side of the boat ramp, that point. I'm not going to point, folks. But that point y'all see jutting right there on the boat ramp side. There's another spot right there that should hold some fish. But I'm having to move around and fish specific areas because these fish are just now moving in. Okay. So let's land him. All these boats is coming in. Everybody's allowing that the crappie ain't biting, but they are. If you'll, you got to fish for them when they're like this. They're not. It's just not quite time, but almost. So let's get this big son of a gun in right here. Oh my! What a crappie! Look at there, folks. Big, broad, black crappie too. Let's let him go. There he goes. Well, you know, folks, presentation is very, very important. I've stressed that since we started this channel. In fact, presentation is so important, it's going to either dictate whether you're going to catch fish or not. Now, this was a situation where I used the wind to my advantage. I would cast into the wind, let this little light jig fall to the proper depth. Once it did, it was just almost like holding this jig in front of the fish, because I would raise my rod tip up as the jig was falling towards me. And I still caught fish, inactive crappie. Very, very important. That just goes to show that different presentations is needed. Different situations. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for all the great comments. Everything y'all do for this channel is appreciated. Hey, woo. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good for